All right, so the AirPods Pro 2 are here. And let's face it, for people that are iPhone users and just Apple users in general, these make the most sense. You can track the earbuds. The case now has a speaker on it, so you can use that to help you find them as well. And they just work perfectly with other Apple devices. But how exactly do they stack up to the competition as far as the main functions? So call quality, active noise cancellation, transparency mode, fit. That's exactly what we're going to cover here in today's video, starting off with the call quality. So let's go ahead and jump into a microphone comparison. For me, I think the AirPods Pro 2 and the Sennheiser Momentum 3 perform the best, but I'll let you guys be the judge.
All right, so this is a outdoor microphone test of the AirPods Pro 2. As you can see, we do have some traffic taking place in the background, so it should be a pretty decent test. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so now we have the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, the same outdoor microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. And now we have the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 3, same outdoor test again. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the Bose quietcomfort 2 True Wireless earbuds, same outdoor test. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3. And last, we have the Sony WF-1000XM4, yet again, outdoor microphone test. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, 1, 2, 3.
So really quick, let's talk Bluetooth connection. Now, we're not going to spend too much time on this because all of these options are giving you up-to-date Bluetooth versions and all of that fun stuff. But I do think it's interesting that none of these premium earbuds are giving you true multi-point connection. Now, clearly, if you're an Apple user, the AirPods are going to give you seamless device switching among Apple devices, which is pretty much the closest you can get to multi-point connection. And the same thing with the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro and Samsung devices. They can easily switch between device to device as long as it's a Samsung device. But if you're somebody that has multiple types of devices from different companies, none of these are going to give you that true multi-point experience. So I do think that is a tad bit disappointing. Now, another thing I want to mention is that all of these earbuds, except for the Bose quietcomfort 2, allow you the option to listen to either earbud independently. I know a lot of people feel like this is a moot point and it makes no sense to listen to earbuds one at a time, but it's actually pretty common. And I know for me personally, every time I put a pair of earbuds in my ear, I'm not necessarily looking for that fully immersive audio experience. Sometimes I might be working or multitasking, but I still have things that I want to listen to. And sometimes I like to do it with just one earbud. Or if I've had earbuds in my ear for quite some time and I want to give one of my ears a rest, I'll take one, put it back in the case and continue listening with the other. So it's nice just to have the option of independent use. Some people have said that there's a firmware update in the works for the Bose QC2 that will allow independent use. I hope it's true, but as of right now, anytime I take my right earbud and put it into the case and close it, the left one automatically disconnects. So let's go ahead and talk about a big ticket item, which is obviously active noise cancellation. So when you're testing ANC, a lot of times it depends on the type of noise that you're trying to cancel out. Some earbuds perform better with lower frequency sounds. Some might perform a little better with higher frequency sounds. But when it comes to the Bose QC2, it doesn't really matter what type of sound it is. If it's a constant low frequency sound like that of an airplane cabin, or if it's the sound of people's voices a few feet away, to me, these have the best performance. Now, one thing that a lot of people have mentioned when it comes to the quietcomfort 2 is that there is no offsetting. So you're forced to use active noise cancellation or transparency mode. There is no option to turn them off. So after the Bose, I would have the AirPods Pro 2. Very good for constant low frequency sounds and also really effective for higher frequency sounds like voices, just not quite as effective as the Bose QC2. And then from there, I will put the Sennheiser, the Sony, and the Samsung all pretty much on the same tier. But honestly, all of these are excellent when it comes to ANC. But if ANC is your main priority over everything else, I do recommend going with the Bose. So let's talk transparency. In my opinion, the AirPods Pro 2 and the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro sound the closest to not having anything in your ear. So they both sound the most natural. And then from there, I would put the Sony and the Bose, with maybe a slight edge going to the Sony because the transparency mode is just a tad stronger than the Bose. With the QC2, there's not much to complain about, but the overall strength of the transparency mode seems to be the lowest out of the group. And then when it comes to the Momentum 3, they do a great job of drawing in your ambient sounds, but I will say that they have the most amount of static or white noise out of the bunch. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Also, the Sony, the Bose, and the Sennheiser have an adjustable slider that allows you to control your desired amount of ambient sound. The Galaxy Buds 2 Pro has this feature buried in the settings, but I'm not really a fan of how it works. For me, it adds some occasional feedback and more of an echoey type of sound, so I just stick to the default ambient mode. And then with the AirPods Pro 2, it's just one setting, either ambient mode on or ambient mode off. So now let's talk about another big ticket, which is obviously the sound quality. So for me, number one is going to be the Sennheiser Momentum 3. These have the most dynamic sound out of the group, and it's mainly because of the bass. They have the strongest amount of bass response, along with some great range in terms of the treble and clarity. So when you dive into the EQ settings, you can get a really dynamic V-shaped type of sound, which is typically what I go for. The Bose QC2 and Galaxy Buds 2 Pro come in at a very close second. Both are also very dynamic, amazing bass response, very well balanced mids and highs, and plenty of volume as well. The Bose have an adjustable 3-band EQ, and the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro have 6 different EQ presets that you can choose from. From there, I will put the 1000 XM4, really nice treble and clarity, some solid bass as well, but the bass isn't quite as pronounced as the other 3 options. These also have fully adjustable EQ, as well as a couple different presets to choose from. And then I would have the AirPods Pro 2. And really the only reason I have the AirPods in last in terms of sound is because they have the least amount of bass out of the entire group. Aside from that, they have plenty of volume, the treble and clarity sounds great, it's very well balanced. I just wish they had a little bit more presence in terms of the lower end. But if bass isn't really your thing, then this shouldn't really be an issue. But for me and the music that I typically listen to, it is something that I noticed. Now let's go ahead and talk about fit. Obviously fit is 100% subjective. I do have smaller ears, so I'll do the best to summarize my experience with all of these earbuds. So for me, the AirPods Pro 2 are probably the most comfortable out of the group. They just kind of contour the ear very nicely. But as far as security, I would go with either the Bose QC2, the Sennheiser Momentum 3, or the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. The Bose are using silicone stability bands, which gives you a really nice amount of grip and keeps the earbuds in your ear. And then the Sennheiser Momentum 3 are using an earwing design, which also gives you a great amount of grip and keeps them in place. And then the sheer compact size of the Buds 2 Pro means you can get a nice snug fit, so these also stay put very well. And as far as the 1000 XM4, their large size is just not ideal for my smaller ears, so I wouldn't even dare reach for these if I'm planning on doing any intense movement. So lastly, let's go ahead and talk about the controls. So all of these earbuds, except for the Sony, give you access to all of your controls at once. So you're able to play and pause, you're able to track forward, track backward, adjust your volume, as well as make changes to your ambient sound. Now keep in mind that with the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, you will need either a Samsung device or just an Android device so that you can download the Galaxy wearable app and unlock the controls as well as customize the controls. But when it comes to the Sonys, they do make you pick and choose which controls you want to have access to. So if you want to have playback controls on one earbud and then volume controls on the other, well then you won't have ambient sound control. Or if you want to have playback control and ambient sound control, well then you won't have access to volume control. So that pretty much brings us to the end of the video, and I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. Which one is the best? And there's no clear-cut answer to that question. It honestly depends on what's most important to you. Which features do you place the highest priority on, and just use that to make your own decision. There's no one earbud that does everything better than the rest. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, if you found this video to be helpful, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up as well as consider subscribing to the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.